Hey y'all, it's Kim. So a few weeks ago, I did post about Michelle Obama's podcast. Other people were talking about it too, so I was just kind of pulling it up to see what was going on. Well, I saw this. It says stop podcasts or stop doing podcasts. Michelle Obama triggers new criticism. Let's see what they have to say on Fox now about her
Right before
podcast.
Barack and Michelle Obama entered the White House, they had an estimated net worth of $1.3 million. Now, to most people, that's a lot of money, but according to Michelle, costs stacked up pretty quickly when they finally became the first family.
It's expensive to live in the White House. As many people don't know. I mean, much is not covered. You're paying for every.
Well, hold on. If he's making $400,000 a year, which is more than a lot of people I know, how could they not afford just food and clothing and paying for the normal stuff that you have to pay for? You're not even paying for a mortgage at that point unless you still have a home wherever y'all came from. I mean, unless you sold it in the hopes of staying there forever. But, I don't understand how did you mismanage your money that much? That just doesn't make sense.
Food, every bit of food that you eat, you're not paying for housing and the staff in it, but everything, even travel. If you're not traveling with the president, if your kids are coming on a Bright Star, which is the first lady's plane, we have to pay for their travel to be on the plane.
While apparently struggling to pay for all of those White House expenses, the staffers do it too, by the way. We have to pay for our own food. The Obamas somehow found the cash to afford a $50,000 a week Martha's Vineyard summer hideaway. Look at that. They famously vacationed here from 2009 to 2011. That is while Barack Obama was president. And the property boasts 8 bedrooms in the main residence, but don't worry, there's 5 bedrooms in the guest house if you want to stay over. It has an in-ground pool and a stunning wraparound porch. Now, that spacious estate is now on the market for a whopping $39 million. Kennedy, yeah, you have to pay for the food and all of this, and not every president who goes into the White House is rich. I get all of that. There have been other first families that have complained about it. But you're doing a $50,000 vacation rental every summer and you're complaining about roughing it?
So also, that
Roughing it.
2005 number when they bought their first house in Chicago for 1.3 million, they put 200,000 down, that they had to work very hard for that. But somehow when he left the presidency, they were already worth $20 million. So they were able to amass some scratch. And a lot of this falls on deaf ears because you have a lot of moms and a lot of different houses throughout the country, and they do have to pay rent. They do have to pay the mortgage. They don't have a staff, and boo-hooing that your 2 children that you have to pay for them to fly on your private jet that's just for the first lady's sole use. It's really hard to drum up sympathy. She needs to stop doing podcasts. Oh, she has done herself such an incredible disservice over the last year.
It's so true. I mean, Harris, there was a social media user that pointed out, the president alone, his salary at, I think it's about $400,000, right, is more than America's top 97% of earners, is what the social media user said. And they point out that his net worth he made, $20.5 million, according to the New York Post, between being a senator and leaving the White House. So he was doing just fine.
Yeah, David's laughing. It's the American way. Some would argue. You go into politics and you get rich. Can we get an audit? Like, can we take a look at how that's happening? Or is it none of our business and we're just supposed to be quiet? I agree with Kennedy. Why are we exposed to all these podcasts from doing this? Yeah. Why is Biden on a let me fall asleep again tour? Like, I just don't get it. They must hate their political party because they're really hurting it by all the jawing that they're doing. I just don't get it.
And the Obamas went to leave that vacation house that they rented, David. They ended up purchasing a place on Martha's Vineyard. And you recall when Governor Ron DeSantis sent the illegal immigrants there? Stephen Miller had a pretty epic tweet at the time. Obama's compound alone could easily house several thousand illegal migrant Americans during actual natural disasters. Instead, they've been forced to sleep in stadiums and makeshift FEMA shelters. So why were these illegal immigrants never invited to the Obamas?
Because it's not about actually taking care of the humanitarian portion of it. It's about getting votes. That's all they care about, and staying in power and control. Duh. I mean, They weren't here to make sure that these people had everything they needed. And even if they did make sure they had everything they needed, they had an NGO do it. So they were totally hands off on the situation. You never saw anybody take these people into their homes. They weren't going to do that. They just wanted them here so that they would be counted in the census. They wanted the NGOs and the Catholic charities and all these other church charities to take them in and take care of their physical needs. They just needed the bodies here for the census, so then they have more representation. Somebody posted the other day that I think they would have already lost 20 something seats in maybe the House or the Senate if they didn't have the illegals counted in the census. So, what does that tell you? It helps the Democrat Party get votes. Even if it's not necessarily votes in the sense of those people actually voting, but it still helps with them getting representation in that area, in like the House and the Senate. So I don't know. I'm just like, they weren't really concerned about the humanitarian issues. They just wanted them here so they could count them.
They called the ferry probably within minutes of them getting there because obviously you got to get to Martha's Vineyard by ferry. You know who doesn't take a salary? Donald Trump, and he's actually worth money going into the White House and losing money.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say oh boo-hoo? I think that was I would love to get a perspective from someone else because I know, because he's been texting me, a son of a president, a former president is watching the show right now.
Oh, cool.
Please tell me what it costs your father, Ronald Reagan, and the family to watch. Now you know who I'm talking about. This is ridiculous. You have a staff, you have security, you have all the things. You have $400,000 a year,
Yeah.
which means you don't have to spend that money getting around. You don't have to spend it on Metro bus and Metro rail tickets and all this because they're in SUVs and with. Come on. This is elitism at the top end of elitism.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you clarified about the president's son because I was going to guess it was Hunter Biden who was watching, but
yeah, look, you guys, this is also, I think, so much of this is in the package that it's sentient. Meaning that I think the way that Mrs. Obama was talking, maybe if she said, guys, I'm going to break down, this is what it's like to be first lady. All right, so here's what it's like. Tell us. Yes, I would love to learn behind the scenes.
No,
but the way that it was framed is somehow trying to curry sympathy for someone having to pay for children on a private. I didn't even know that's what the name of it was, by the way. Bright Star? That sounds like an elementary school. But it sounds amazing. And at the end of the day, when every American right now pinches pennies every day and makes sure that their food is covered and all the things.
We sure as hell don't make no $400,000 a year. I don't make anything off of these videos. I'm just making them because I enjoy doing it. But yeah, we sure don't make $400,000 a year.
Serving at the pleasure really of the people and serving in the highest office of the United States of America.
She's still complaining.
Represents something sacrosanct that no amount of dollars and cents should impede or make me feel sorry for the honor of being my president.
Yeah, I think you've lost the plot when you say my staff was paid for, but not my food. Right? Okay, well, I don't have a staff. All right.
Yeah,
hey, everyone, I'm Emily Campagna.
Yeah, I sure don't have a staff. I had to do my own cleaning today. But anyway, that's Michelle Obama. Oh, I guess we could look at her, her page. Let me get this out of here. Excuse me. Let's see. Or do I have it on here? Oh, Michelle Obama. Let's see. Oh, it was updated today. I just want to see. I don't want it to play. Don't start playing. Where's it at? Okay, 209,000 subscribers, 8,000 likes. And then 561 comments. Let's see. This one, Michelle Obama, has 135,000 views. That's from 4 days ago. Let's see what X has to say about Michelle Obama. I think she still had 50-something thousand or 50-something million followers on X. Well, let's just check it out. Just since we're here, of course. Yes, as a matter of fact, I did. I can't watch them anymore. It says, did you stop watching Tom Hanks movies? Absolutely. Let's see what people are saying about her right now. All right. Let's see what this person says. My one thought that I couldn't escape when it came to Michelle Obama was that she always tried to act as if her life was a class struggle. She comes from stellar, hardworking parents, graduated from the third best high school in Illinois, went to both undergrad and law school in the Ivy League. She then had elite, high paying jobs, had a seemingly healthy and enduring marriage, and two beautiful children. Her husband went on to be a U.S. senator and two-term president. After that, she and her made millions. With all due respect, I have more to complain about than she ever had. She could make herself an inspirational figure. Instead, she breeds contempt. She's not a healthy mind. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to hear what she has to say. I think I heard it the other day. And if you didn't, just go back and listen to it. It's like the CEO something podcast, something like that. It says Michelle Obama's 5'11", pretty tall for a woman, right? I never realized how large she was. Well, I say she's a man, so, or he's a man. In the past few days, Michelle Obama complained that she had to pay for her own food in the White House and paid for her kids to use the First Lady's private jet. Trump promised to donate his presidential salary for a second term, totaling over $3 million. It's a night and day difference. Let's see. I guess let's we'll listen to it. I guess I don't really.
It's expensive to live in the White House. There's many people don't know. I mean, much is not covered. You're paying for every bit of food that you eat. You're not paying for housing and the staff in it, but everything, even travel. If you're not traveling with the president, if your kids are coming on a Bright Star, which is the first lady's plane, we had to pay for their travel to be on the plane. It is an expensive proposition, and you're running for 2 years and not earning an income.
But
it's expensive to live in the White
sorry,
House.
hold on.
Many people don't know.
So let's see what Trump has to say.
Or the president, they say, with the possible exception of George Washington, and they haven't been able to find those records. And we've had wealthy presidents before, but no other president has contributed the salary. And they told me before this that you will probably be asking me whether or not I'm going to contribute my salary again, but you haven't asked that.
Are you going to?
Yes.
You are. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you heard it straight from his mouth. Just a reminder this Mother's Day that not a single person out there can produce a real picture of a pregnant Michelle Obama. Oh, look, that's a basketball. Let's see. Barack and Michelle Obama constantly play the victim. They have a net worth of 70 to $100 million and 3 mansions. The American people in the crooked payoff book deal paid for it. The American people are real victims. It says, newsflash, Michelle Obama, half of this country hates you and your husband because of the damage you and Barack did to this country on purpose for political and financial gains. It says, what do you notice about this picture of Michelle Obama? I don't know. The legs, because that's very muscular. Michelle Obama said that the deportations Trump is carrying out is keeping her up at night, but she had no issue sleeping at night when her husband deported millions. Oh, look at the cat. Anyway, let's see. I want to look at the comments on this one. Because it makes, when I listen to her, I want to say, well, boo-hoo, It says, I'm not sending their best. Notes suggesting context to be shown with the post, and this number is inflated. The presidential salary for a U.S. president is 400,000. If Trump donates his salary from both terms, it will come to 800,000. Okay. That's 400,000 a year. Uh, that's 400K. Oops, excuse me. A year, Dingleberry. Shouldn't say that. Yeah, 400,000 times four. Yeah, I mean, if he did, yeah, I mean, 1.6. Okay, that's 400,000 for a US president. Number is inflated. Let me make sure. He just got hosed. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say it's 400K a year. So somebody does have it right. It's like 3.2 million. And it's totaling over 3 million is a factual statement. Chuck, the challenge cannot seem to understand that a presidential term is 4 years, much less two presidential terms will be 8 years. So he community noted it. Got it. Hold on. No. Okay, notes suggesting contents. No, it's not. Because he's wrong. Either way, I don't know. Let's not let me do anything with that. No. I guess it's just a photo. Okay. Well, anyway, it doesn't work. So yeah. Mm, these people are dumb. Anyway, I just want to say, like, boohoo on Michelle Obama with her. Oh, it costs so much money. Well, we don't make um no $400,000. But anyway, you see, she's not as popular as people want to make her out to be. Let's see. Michelle Obama's ex-boyfriend David Upchurch has come forward to reveal that she is actually a man named Michael Robinson and only became Michelle after meeting Barack Obama and having prospects of becoming First Lady. It's official. Michelle Obama is a man. That is from September of 2024. Ugh. I just can't get over her teeth. She's just like not at all cute at all. That's not Michelle Obama. That's somebody else. The handsome Michelle Obama looks happy and refreshed as she arrived solo at the Met Gala. I don't think that's it. Anyway, I'm tired of looking at her face. Can't stand her teeth. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. I just had to post that because I happened to see it. She needs to shut up and stop complaining.